Welcome to another episode of the CV Weekly podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Kitty Pig, non-alcoholic craft brew, all headbang, no hangover. Our guest today, we're going to be talking to Kate Spates, and then we will be talking to Jason Zembo of Whitewater, and he's also going to be doing a performance for us. Stay tuned.
Kitty Pig, a non-alcoholic beverage brand brewed specifically for the alternative and heavy music culture in collaboration with Kitty and We Are Pigs, all headbang, no hangover.
Our next guest is business and marketing strategist Kate Spates. Hi, Kate.
Hi, it's so good to see you.
I know, it's good to see you too. Yeah, we have a lot to catch up on.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So, well, just to start out, so I was reading that you were 28 when you opened your first business.
Yes.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I was working at the JW Marriott Desert Springs for 9 years in 7 different departments, and had an opportunity to get involved with this new thing in the internet. And it was literally when the internet was in its infancy. And, of course, I had to be the boss. And so I said, if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to leave my career at the Marriott, then I want to be in charge. And so we kind of changed the dynamic, but I basically bought a web company that started in Ohio. And so I had staff in Ohio, and they were doing all the techie stuff, but they were too slow. And so I taught myself how to code and all of that stuff and design. And I kind of figured out around age 24 or so that I was a nerd. I didn't know, because we didn't have computers in high school back then. Like,
no, we didn't.
And so and I hated my typewriter class. But so yeah, I figured out oh gosh, I really like programming and I really like marketing. Those are the 2 classes in college that I just had the most fun in. And so this kind of, combined both to open up a web company. And so it was purely just a web company for the first few years. And, I had to grow my team. I ended up closing down Ohio as soon as I figured out how to do it myself. But then I didn't have time to do the selling and all the service and stuff. So I quickly had to grow my team. But once I started making money, it made sense to grow the team. And then I just started figuring out, what am I the best at? And so I kind of went with more of the sales and the service. And I like being out in the community. And so, but every time we called it Chamberville, we would go to a chamber mixer or breakfast or something. And if I got a chance to speak, I'd get 45 cards. And I started just following up and making appointments, and I'd land their account. And I remember, this is so far back that people would say now, why do I need a website? And my greatest line was, wow, can you fit everything that you want to say about your company in your Yellow Pages ad? That's what I'm talking about, 1997,
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, and now everybody's doing the math on how old I am. But no, I'm super proud. I did that for 15 years on my own, and then I sold it to a friendly competitor, and I stayed on for a couple of years. And then a lot of things changed in my life. I really wanted to focus on my girls. I have twin daughters, and they have mild, moderate cerebral palsy. They were premature. But they've been mainstreamed all their life, and now they're in college. They're 22, and they go to Cal State San Bernardino, and one of them uses a walker, but they're very, very bright. And so trying to figure out and navigate how to get them to have their best life.
Yeah.
And so I really put my focus on that, with the side of, I need to fix my marriage. And I couldn't fix my marriage even without working, because I was kind of a workaholic.
Right.
And so I ended up getting a divorce after 23 years of marriage, and that was rough. But I really just kind of took a step back and was like, who am I? It's so weird to not be the president of a company. And I kind of had an identity crisis.
Yeah, figuring out who am I now?
Yeah. And so I started, I was friends with Skip Page for years, and, he caught wind that I was divorced and he was kind of interested. So
Right.
it's funny. So our relationship developed, and
the rest is history.
yes, but he said, I'm going to open up a restaurant in Palm Desert. And I was like, cool, where? And he's like, the old Randy's Cafe? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm thinking, that's so small. He's like, yeah, it's really small. We're going to call it Little Bar. And I'm like, that's a terrible idea. and then now it's like so fun. But I said, who's going to do your marketing? He's like, well, you. And I'm like, God, I'm so rusty, and I don't have all the people. And he's like, you can do it. You can figure it out. And it's kind of the spark that I needed to say, like, okay, this is who I am now. I refuse to have employees, so I better figure out how to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And if I, when I've been presented with, can you do this? I ask myself, well, do I want to? Because I can figure out just about anything. I feel pretty confident about that, anything in marketing.
Yeah.
But will I be the best at it? Probably not. But will it make you look good? Yeah, it should. If it doesn't, I don't want to put my name on it. So, I've had considerable success on my own, and that's been really great. And so I am finding my way of who I am. So I'm like, am I a business and marketing strategist? Is that me? Or am I just a problem solver? And that's pretty much what everybody says. You are. You're just
professional problem solver.
Can we cuss on this show?
Yeah.
Somebody called me a clusterfuck fixer. I'm like, I kind of like that on one hand, but I don't want to do that all the time.
Right.
But I do like a big challenge.
I like that.
Yeah. Jackie called me that. Jackie.
Yeah.
So that's my
cool.
work life. Yeah.
Well, and you're involved in so many different things here in the Valley, so many different organizations and projects, and so let's talk about a little bit about those.
Mm-hmm.
First, let's talk about P-Swift, and I know you've been on the board for years, and you're a past president.
Yeah.
And as a result of P-Swift, you've made a couple of movies.
I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kim Waltrip actually made my dreams come true. It was funny,
Kim's
right?
great.
She is. She's amazing. And right before COVID hit, she said, she was the president of P-Swift and I was on the board, and she said, have we ever made any short films? And I said, not to my knowledge. I mean, I haven't been on the board the entire time, but I've never seen one. And, we started talking, and she said, well, we got to do that. And I said, count me in. I've been wanting to do that for the longest time.
Yeah.
So we had this round the table discussion about, does anybody have any ideas or come to the table? It was a committee. And, some people had scripts they wanted to pitch. Some people were writers. And I was like, I am none of these things, but I kind of have a lot of ideas. And so I actually said, I'm going to fix my mic. I said, what about this? And I pitched this idea about, it's kind of a comedy, like a romantic comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And, with a girl with an accent, and they're, it's about dates and, interesting things happen. And I said a couple of things, and everybody started laughing. And so they said, this is the one, let's do this. So Carolyn Milashko, who has since passed away, she wrote it. And Kim said, well, I think you need to direct it if if it's your idea and you've got this vision. And I was like, oh my God, I just went from never producing and doing anything to director. I feel like I have complete imposter syndrome. But she said, I'm going to be right there. And she taught me, and we did another one pretty quickly after that one. And she said, I liked working with you. Let's do this next one together too. And then I'm going to have you teach somebody, because it's the filmmakers lab.
Right.
And it was basically a program created by Palm Springs, created by Kim, because she's got all these contacts, and she just said, we should all do it. And, we'll raise the money, or we'll ask people for donations. And, it's a good cause, because they're donating to give these women and men, but mostly our organization was created to advance women. Yeah. Give them bankable skills. I have legit bankable skills. I could direct a commercial. I could, I do produce things, short films, with with reels and stuff. It's just, it's taught me the basics, but then I know like so much more now because I've done shorts and been a little bit part of the editing and product placement. And so every film we would have different roles. And so, but I did get to co-direct 3, and I got to teach Carolyn Malashko before she passed. Exit Interview was the last one I did, and it's kind of dark, and it was a result of one of our screenwriters contests with Stage 32. And it was kind of cool. And I said, can we modify this a little bit? Like, I kind of want to make this character like maniacal. And they're like, you're sick. And I'm like, no, I think that would make it really interesting. And so, so yeah, we had fun with that. And we've done a couple more since then. And so the Filmmakers Lab was really a great opportunity for me to, that's the highlight of me being a part of Palm Springs Women in Film and Television.
Yeah.
Yes, we gave away scholarships to deserving students at high school and College of the Desert.
Fantastic in its
Totally
own.
great, because it's very expensive to have all this equipment, as you know.
Yeah.
And so to give them a leg up, it feels really good, and they come back and they're super appreciative. And, some of them have joined the Filmmakers Lab. And so right now it's kind of on hiatus. Obviously it's in the summer and stuff, but we're just trying to figure out where it's going to go from here. But it's been fantastic.
Yeah, it's such a cool organization. And then the other thing, you're the co-founder of AMP.
Yes.
And let's talk a little bit about that.
It's kind of a cool story too. Skip was with Golden Voice for 20 some odd years. And Roman Whitaker was his neighbor at the time. And he said, I know Golden Voice gives money to Coachella Valley Community Trust, but what if we created like this music program and made like School of Rock kind of thing? And Skip was like, I love it. Yes.
Yeah.
Make it happen. And he said, I'll pledge $200,000 for a year for 3 years.
Wow.
And Roman
well,
was
that's
like,
impressive.
Yeah. So he was like, how are you going to do it? And Roman was like, I have no idea. And Skip said, call Kate. And this is before we were just friends, but he just kind of knew that I was like Jack of all and Jill of all trades, whatever. And so I was like, okay, well, we need a director, we need this, and we need to find all these. I know there's working musicians in the desert. Do they know how to teach? And it was just so, organic the way it came together.
How it happened. Yeah.
And now we're in our 11th year. They're in camp right now. It's always in summer. And that's how it started off. It was this fun 2-week summer camp.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all day. And it's these kids from all over the Coachella Valley. It's not just from one school. And so, somebody from India might have never met somebody from Palm Springs other than competing against them in sports or something. But now here they are, one's playing the drums, one's playing the guitar, and they're like, I like you, And so we created this community of young musicians.
Yeah.
And, to see now that it's been 11 years, there's some that have gone on and they're doing excellent.
I know.
Notably Whitewater, you've seen them around. One of my favorite years was when Jason Zembo was in camp. That was literally like, he blew my socks off. And there's been many times where I get to be in the auditions and I've cried. And it's just to see this young talent, especially because oftentimes they're playing alone in their room, learning by YouTube, playing their guitar or their keys or whatever. And it's kind of lonely. They might be having the time of their life, but it's still kind of like, I want to make music like with other people. And so to put them into a band, to see their faces light up when they're really, jiving with each other.
That camaraderie.
It's been incredible. So that's like one of my favorite things, one of my favorite organizations that I've been with. And, it has been 11 years and I am on the board, but I sit in a co-founder position. But let me tell you, I was coordinating all the lunches. We have all of our lunches donated because I call in favors. And,
exactly.
This year, our camp is much smaller, and we're actually doing it in our studio, which is right down the street in downtown Indio, which is going through an amazing revitalization.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Again, due in part to Skip Page, opening up Indio Tap House and Italica, and I do the marketing, and so that's fun. It's that area is so cool. And the city, we've been there for like 6 years, and the city has always said, like, please just make music. Well, now we have two sides of the studio, and one side we've created is called Oasis on Miles,
Mm-hmm.
and AB Perkins is our creative director, music production, whatever his title is.
Mm-hmm.
He's Mr. Amazing. He's got a great vibe, and he said we should do karaoke night and bring the community in, and we should do this, and one night he had all these punkers, and we were down the street at Tap House, and I'm like, what is that loud music? And we kept walking towards the music. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's at Oasis. That's awesome. And so we went in. It was like all these young punk kids. I'm like, oh my God, punk is resurging. This is amazing. He's like, Skip's like, it's never been dead. So it's
that whole downtown Indio area is amazing what they've done with it.
Yes.
And I know that Skip had a huge part in
Yes.
in that, with his businesses down there and
Yeah.
donating to AMP and just the whole thing. And to see this small little, downtown area build up has been really awesome. Yeah.
Well, I mean, back in the day, I came to the desert from Northern California in 1980. And I remember radio commercials that talked about Indio being the hub of the valley. And it still is our biggest city. But, there was nothing really in between Indio and Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Like it was all bedroom communities.
Right.
And until 1984, when the mall in Palm Desert was built, that's when Palm Desert really started, becoming on the map. I mean, El Paseo has always been kind of cool, but now it's like the place and the gardens and all that.
Yeah.
So, the hub, are we returning it back to the hub of the valley? I don't know about that, but it's
a little bit.
I mean, people are coming from Palm Springs to come check it out, and coming from all over. And during Coachella, it was crazy where these people were coming from. I'm like looking on Instagram. I'm like, oh, this person has 1 million followers and they're at our restaurant. Like, this is amazing.
Yeah. And Little Street Music Hall. And
yes.
Yeah. The whole
it's a
whole
vibe
thing
down there.
Yeah. I love going down there now.
Good.
Yeah. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So now you're also working with Parkinson's.
Yes. Parkinson's Resource Organization.
Yes.
Yeah. Eileen Lynch is the she's not so new. I think it's been a year now, executive director after Joe Rosen started it, in 1990. It's 35 years or so. And it's the little organization that could. And last year they had a symposium with Michael J. Fox Foundation, which is like kind of broke all of the goals for them. And I was so excited to be able to work with them through that. And, now taking all the clips from, we had this great symposium with this great stage, and, Sean Daigle did the video, and then I got to take the clips and make short reels out of them. And, just because little sound bites, I was like, oh, that's such a great sound bite. I wish I had that on a story, because I was sitting right front, trying to do a few stories and stuff. And then it's like, that has helped. Just putting those on social with hashtags and tagging Michael J. Fox Foundation, their YouTube subscribers have gone up.
Oh yeah.
And the viewers, and they're watching the whole entire symposium, which is long, but they saw the little clip and they were like, oh my gosh. And especially if somebody has Parkinson's or cares for somebody with Parkinson's, they see this little clip come through, their Instagram or their Facebook, and they're like, what? I need to watch this whole thing. So very, very rewarding work. I really enjoy. And I like my role with Eileen. I basically just say, like, give me stuff that's stressing you out. and that's what I love. It's like, I can do whatever it takes for her. And there's a couple of clients that I'm like that, where I'm just like everything. I have a client that Precision Wellness. Everybody sees their billboards everywhere. I'm like, yep, I designed those billboards. And like, if you would have asked me if I'd be designing billboards or whatever, like 20 years ago, I would have laughed and said, like, no, I have designers for that. But now you can do everything. Like, I have all the tools, and it's so much easier. Yeah. And I mean, I like to teach myself how to do stuff, so I might be
That's very
weird.
Cool. Well, I don't think you're weird. I think you've become very successful. Being a nerd.
Exactly.
Your words, not mine.
Yes, I discovered.
So it's worked very well for you.
Thank you.
So with all this that you're involved in, you and Skip, you've been together 10 years now, and definitely the superpower couple of the desert, Skip and Kate.
Skate is what people call us.
Yeah.
It's so silly.
Exactly.
It's a ship name, I guess. That's what my kids say.
So you're kind of a world traveler at this point, and I know that you guys just got back from Italy. Just share a little bit about that. How fun.
Oh my gosh, I've wanted to go to the Amalfi Coast for so long. And then as soon as you start talking about something like that, of course, Instagram starts, hitting you with all of these.
Of course.
It's always listening. Everything sometimes I'm like, I didn't even say that. And it's delivering stuff to me. Kind of creepy, kind of
a little bit.
But Amalfi Coast was great. And it was really cool. It was 2 weeks, but the first 10 days I was with Skip. And then my last 5 days, or I don't know, it was maybe 9 and whatever. Anyway, was with my girlfriend Robin, because she was up in Stockholm at a conference that she puts on, and she's like, "Come up to Stockholm, or let's meet somewhere," because you feel like you're all the way over there. Yeah. And Skip was going to go get on this boat that he loves to go sailing on, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, let's figure it out." And then I said, "But have you ever been to the Amalfi Coast?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "You come down here, because I want to go. There's a whole other area that we are going to be exploring." But we stayed in Sorrento, which I highly recommend because super easy to get around. And what I mean by that is if you go to Portofino, it's straight up. It's beach, and it's just walking uphill and stairs and all these things. And same with Amalfi. There's a little bit of town area, and then it's just and so we stayed in Sorrento. We took a ferry to Capri. I was always calling it Capri, but it's Capri, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
And we spent the whole day there. We got on a private boat, just a little jet boat or whatever, and went around the whole island and just got to get out and jump in the water. It was amazing. And then we went into town, had lunch, took the funicular up to the very top, and got lost up there because we were trying to explore and try to find it, and we're like, oh my God, yeah, we have to get back. But that was awesome. Then we rode scooters and went over to Portofino. And it was funny because he's like, it says that Amalfi is really close. We should see where you're going to stay, because we stayed at an Airbnb. We just kept going. We drove through the town. We didn't even stop. And we went on to Amalfi and, found this other beach and just got off the bike and went and checked it out. It was so incredible, but kind of sketchy. These roads are pin turns.
Oh yeah.
And I'm on the back, and I'm video everything. Well, when I'm with Robin, she's like, I want to do the scooter. And I'm like, yeah, let's do scooters. And thinking I would get one and she would get one. And she's like, no, I'll just jump on the back with you. And I'm like, oh, I'm so scared. But she said afterwards, she didn't know that I was so scared, but it's scary having somebody. It's just different. You're balancing two people. And we only had one near-death experience. But now we can say we lived through it. And but it was a blast, and really got to explore Amalfi. And we again went out into a boat and went down the coast and up the coast. And so got to I feel like Amalfi Coast, check. I don't need to go back, because really, when you think about your age, and that's why we're traveling so much too. Yeah. It's we only have 20 good summers left of traveling. That's if we keep it super healthy. So we're not going back to anywhere the same, twice.
Well, yeah, because you want to try something different every time.
Yes. Yeah. And we still have a lot of states to hit. We just, right before we went to Italy, a week before, we went on a 10-day road trip. And we flew to Vegas, saw Kenny Chesney at the Sphere. That was amazing. Laid out by the pool. That was great. And then we flew to Chicago, and then we rented a car. We stayed the night, but then we rented a car and drove to Cleveland, caught a Dodgers game. He's a big Dodger fan. Dodgers played the Guardians. There used to be the Indians. Then we went to Pittsburgh, and then we ended up in the Canadian side of the Niagara Falls.
Yeah, which is actually
gorgeous,
more beautiful.
Yes, our hotel room, we could see the whole horseshoe and everything. And I'm like, okay, I've been to Canada now. Well, I've been to Vancouver, but not on that side. So, he does love to travel, and I've become so much of more of a good traveler. I still need to pack better. It's a struggle, and I'm like, he's like, how many full outfits did you come home with? I'm like, I'm embarrassed to say. After 2 weeks, I still had a whole week. I could have stayed for a whole nother week.
Yeah.
Like I hadn't got many clothes. It was crazy.
But it's always better to have more.
I know, but
than
you
less.
got to be smart. When you're, and like I literally had a big giant checked bag and a carry-on, and it's cobblestone streets.
No.
And in Amalfi, we were up, our place was 400 steps up from town.
Yeah.
We took a golf cart and I paid a guy, and he puts the luggage on his shoulders and he's carrying them up these like 200 steps
Oh,
to
wow.
get to our place from where the golf cart was. And I'm like, oh God,
That's a
thank
lot.
God. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's getting some steps in for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Every day we
Yeah.
got at least 15,000 steps, and we did a lot of laying around too.
Yeah.
But it was great. Yeah.
Well,
Great
it
trip.
sounds like you had a good time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how do you, I always like to ask people this that have been in business here for a while, how do you feel that the Valley has changed over the years, and how do you feel that you've changed? Well, we talked a little bit about how you've changed.
Yeah. I think more the Valley. I love that some of these cities are really focusing on becoming better and smarter cities. I ran for city council, which was kind of a thing that a bucket list thing that somebody said I should do that, and I did it. And I'm glad that I did it. I'm kind of glad that I didn't win. Politics is really ugly. It's so ugly. And I think I just had this attitude like I could really make a difference, but I had good intentions. I wanted to be the voice of my age in Rancho Mirage, where I was living.
Yeah.
And anyway, we don't need to talk about that. The desert has grown so much from 1980, and what I see is not only is our landscape changing, but the fabric is, and the people, and especially after COVID, I noticed it, and we noticed it with P-Swift and AMP. A lot of musicians, a lot of actors, a lot of people in the biz discovered the desert and finally took that leap to buy a place out here. And they're trying to build a life, and they're brand new. And I always feel like, especially if somebody comes from out of town, they're young, I'm like, oh, let me introduce you to people your age. And here I am, I'm 57 talking about that. But I know a lot of young people, and I know some cool people. And so I always try to, pair people up, because I don't want them to say like, there's nothing in the desert for me.
Right.
Because there is. It's just that you got to go to the right place, and you got to have a good wingman that, gets you in to places. And like when Eileen Lynch from Pro came to town, I was like, oh, I got to connect you with somebody. You're such an introvert. You're not going to like it here. And so I paired her up with Erin Highland, who is Miss Extrovert.
Yeah.
And they do yoga together. They hike, and she drags her out, and it's awesome. They drag each other out. But I love that they've made such a great, beautiful friendship. And Erin volunteers at Pro all the time, and she's a great influence in the organization. So she's like having the year. You need to get her on the show. She's having an incredible year. Yes, it's the year of Erin.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to give her a call.
Yeah,
and have her on for sure.
Yeah.
Are there any other projects that you're working on before we go that you'd like to share with the audience?
No, nothing. Like, I mean, summertime is usually my time to kind of think about like, what floats my boat, and what am I interested in, and I kind of come back in the fall with like, I'm ready to go, and here's what I'm going to do, and I've got a checklist of things I want to do for the season. I really haven't done that yet, because we've been so go. Like, I need a good 5 days in the pool to discover what I'm going to do next. So no, sadly, I don't have anything really exciting yet, but I will. I always do.
Well, there's nothing better than trying to figure out what floats your boat by being out on a boat.
Yes, that's true. Yes. Yeah. Now, and I think I'm good for airplanes for the rest of the summer. I think I'm just going to do San Diego and Laguna and that kind of stuff to get out of the heat.
All the nice local stuff.
Exactly. There's so much to see. I love California.
Kate, I really appreciate you coming in today. And
my pleasure.
We could talk for hours.
I know.
Literally.
I know. I'm a talker.
Because I don't want to stop talking. But well, anyway, thank you so much. Absolutely. We'll have you come back. Kate Spates, everyone.
Beach House Frozen Yogurt. Delicious frozen yogurt with a beachy twist. Sail away to paradise with every swirl. Located on Highway 111 in Palm Desert.
Our next guest is Jason Zembo from the band Whitewater. Hi, Jason.
Hello, how are you?
Good, good. So Kate just left, and we talked to her, and we were talking about AMP and success stories from AMP, and she brought up you, and said that you definitely were a success story. And I said, well, we've got to call and get him on the phone and get him in here. So
Yeah.
here you are. Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you, Kate, for shouting me out.
Yeah, absolutely. So we remember you, gosh, way back when you first started
Yeah.
in AMP.
Little Jason.
Yeah, little Jason.
Littler Jason, I should say.
Exactly. So tell us a little bit about how you got started with AMP and what AMP has meant to you.
So I started playing guitar probably around 8 or 9 years old. My dad was he just enjoyed playing guitar. He was like a semi-musician. And at the same time, my brother was really good at Guitar Hero and I wasn't. So I wanted to one-up him. So I was like, I want to learn guitar. So I played guitar for the first couple of years, just kind of self-taught. My dad taught me a bit. I went on YouTube and learned a bunch of stuff. And then I was like, okay, I want to play with people. And I just so happened to be playing baseball with Sondermans, who they told my dad about it. And then he was like, oh, this seems like a good thing for my son to do. So he showed me, and I was like in 6th grade or so. So
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't find it myself. He found it for me, and he told me, hey, you want to try this out? And I thought it was really fun. So I went and auditioned, and I was nervous. I've never auditioned for anything before.
Right.
I don't know if you ever saw the clip, but I was like staring down at the floor the entire time.
Uh-huh.
And I used to play without a pick, and I wanted to do Eruption by Van Halen, which needed a pick. So I had to learn how to use a pick like right before. So I was nervous. And the audition went well, and I made it, and that's kind of how it all started with me in it.
Yeah, that's so cool. And that there's programs like that.
Oh yeah.
You know, to help young musicians that might not have recognized or realized what their potential was. Mm-hmm. And so, are you currently still involved with AMP?
Yeah, I go and support. I'm stay in touch with everyone. I work with a few of the people that work in AMP, and I like to help the community. I like to help all the other young musicians that are aspiring to keep it going.
Yeah. So your band is Whitewater, and how did that come about, and how long have you guys been together?
So the band's been around for about 1.5 years now. We originally formed because I was in another band that broke up, and I had about a year gap in between these two bands where I just focused on teaching myself how to sing.
Yeah.
Or sing better, I should say. I was always in choir growing up. And the time came where Daniel and Emmanuel, the drummer and bass player, who were in AMP, they needed me for a show. It was a showcase in AMP. I think it was an AMP showcase at Fantasy Springs Casino at the Rock Yard. And they needed me to sing for them because their singer couldn't make it. And I took the role and I hopped in. I was like, oh my gosh, these guys are great. So I was like, hey, do you guys want to make another band outside of this? Because I've been waiting for the opportunity to find some great young musicians with the same goals that I have. And they were on board, and I was like, okay, we need one more person. And I brought my best friend since middle school, Ryan. He's a guitar player, and he also sings. And I was like, hey, you want to be we got a few shows coming up, just some like cover band stuff, yada, yada. And he was like, yeah, sure, that sounds fun. And then I didn't tell him that we were going to be doing originals and trying to make it a career out of it. But he grew to love it too. And then he was like, wow, this is really fun. And then we started working on original music, and then we've been playing originals since. That's
so cool. Yeah, I love young bands coming up doing their original music too. I mean, sometimes you have to do covers, for people to kind of get your sound, and draw people in.
Draw people in.
Yeah, but the covers are the ticket for sure.
Yeah. But now we don't only original.
So describe the band chemistry in one word.
One word's tough. I would just say I'll just say special. I don't know. It's special. I've never been in a band like this. We're all like really close buddies, and everybody brings in their own dynamic. Everyone's got their own influences, but we come together and it sounds like one unit. It doesn't sound like a bunch of people trying to one person wants to shine here, but everybody's shining together.
Cohesive.
It's so cohesive, and it's special to be in a project like this, and it's special to be in a band with these people for me.
That's cool.
Yeah, special is the word I use.
So who are your influences?
Growing up, Zeppelin is like I always put them at the top because of how much Jimmy Page influenced me as a guitar player.
Yeah.
And so I'd go Zeppelin. Soundgarden and Chris Cornell is a huge influence for me,
Yeah.
finding my voice. I learned so much about singing through listening to him, and he kind of opened up the vocal abilities for me. So
Yeah.
Chris Cornell is probably my favorite songwriter and musician of all time. But I love I love Beatles. I used to love Beach Boys, Chili Peppers, Jeff Buckley.
Mhm.
It's all, I love a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff. My dad grew up on classic rock, and he taught me all the classics.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then after I got through the 60s, 70s stuff, then I started to discover the 90s stuff, 90s alternative over COVID.
Yeah.
And now it's just like basically everything from 60s to early 2000s. I'm influenced by a bunch of different bands.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can see that
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. And you have a real 90s kind of sound. I love
Yeah.
90s music
Oh, yeah.
and grunge and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
I really grew to love it.
what genre do you kind of feel that your music, Whitewater's music, is in the vein of?
I just say alternative rock to
Alternative rock.
keep it keep it open for people. We don't like to get ourselves stuck too much in one particular sound.
Yeah.
Every set we do, we try and throw in some heavier stuff and some softer stuff. I'll bring up an acoustic sometimes. We really try and bounce around, but still, like I said, we want to keep it cohesive. So I usually just say alternative rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a sound that you've been wanting to explore with the band, maybe, but you haven't yet?
I mean, more acoustic stuff, because we started off doing a lot of the heavier, drop tuning riffs. And I think we're starting to tap into more of our softer side, our more melancholic side.
Yeah.
So that side of us, I think, is going to be tapped into soon. So that's something that I like. Orchestral music too a little bit. So
Okay.
we go into the studio and get, any strings or any sort of instruments like that. I would love to tap into that too.
Yeah.
Right now we don't have a violin player or nothing like that. But
Yeah.
it'd be great for a studio to have.
Yeah,
So that's one
to add
thing
that.
we want to add another texture to our sound.
Yeah, another
Yeah.
layer. That's pretty cool. I know you don't have an album out yet, but you're currently working on one. You want to talk a
Yeah.
little bit about that?
So we've been writing songs for like the past year and a half, and we've got about 20 songs now that we are, we're happy with a lot of them, but we wanted to just make as many songs as we can and then put out the best few for like an EP or something. So that's been our plan. And we are hoping after these next couple shows to go in to the studio up at Fireside Sound. It's in Joshua Tree.
Uh-huh.
And it's ran by Chris Thorne from Blind Melon. And they're on tour right now. And our producer, Dietlin, his son, is on tour with him, helping him with sound stuff.
Oh, that's a good
gear.
connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we want to go up there, and they've been incredible for us. They've been the greatest musical mentors ever, and we love them, and we can't say anything enough about them.
Yeah.
The support they give us. So that's our plan, to go up and record some stuff, and if it fits, we'll show some people, and if they like it, then maybe it'll get dropped under, maybe a label picks it up, maybe they don't. Either way,
that would be great.
Either way, we're working towards something big. We want it to be special.
Yeah, I can see that.
We've been putting our work in.
Those are great connections that you've got. So
we've been putting our work in.
We don't pulling for you.
we don't want to rush it.
Yeah,
we've been holding it off and really trying, because people always ask us, "Oh, when are you gonna get songs out there? When are you gonna get songs out there?" And we're getting to the point where we really want to have them out there, because we're really proud of our stuff and the fans deserve it. But we didn't want to just rush into it. We wanted to really hone in on our sound and deliver the best thing for our fans and for ourselves personally.
Yeah. Well, and that's the way to do it too. So you put out a quality product that you're really proud of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you have a really big gig coming up, opening up for John Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
And the date on that is
the 19th.
July
19th.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's just in a couple of days. And let's talk a little bit about that, how you guys got on that gig. And
so, backstory, John Garcia and Caius is a huge influence on our sound.
Yeah.
The name Whitewater comes from one of the songs from Welcome to Sky Valley.
Exactly.
It's that, and also my buddy Ryan and I, we go and look for snakes there. That's another story. That's a whole nother story. But we're very influenced by Caius and the desert rock sound. So when we were doing a local battle of the bands at the river not too long ago, I think in October.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, we were doing a local battle of the bands, and like 30 minutes before we're about to, all go on and play our show, they announced the judges, and one of the judges is John Garcia.
Yeah, John was there. Yeah.
So we were like, oh Lord. we were, obviously a little nervous, but more so just excited, and it was huge for us. We were like, oh my gosh, we're playing in front of one of our idols.
Yeah.
So we played the show, and during the Battle of the Bands, I don't know if he was supposed to do this. Sorry for ratting you out, John, but he was recording us while he was judging. I don't know if he was supposed to be doing that or not, but I remember singing and looking up, and I see him like recording. I'm like, all right, well, he either really likes us or he's laughing at us.
Right.
And I think it was the first one because not too long after, a few months ago or so, he sent us a message on Instagram saying, hey, I want you guys to open up for me.
Yeah.
Because he really liked our sound, and he told us that our songs made him feel something he hasn't felt before, which was like huge. That was like the biggest.
That had to go straight.
Yeah, that went right to the heart.
Yeah.
So we stopped practice immediately because we saw the text. We're like, no way. We were getting hyped, of course, and we're playing it with Empty Seat, another local band.
Yeah, and we just had them on not too long ago.
So we're incredibly excited to share the stage with them and John Garcia.
Yeah, that's going to be a great show.
Yeah.
So that is again on July 19th.
July 19th.
And it is up in the high desert at
Pappy and Harriet.
Pioneer
Town. The venue to be at.
All right. So are you performing anywhere else locally right now that people, if they can't make that show, but they still want to come out? And
nothing after that show. I'm actually, once we're done with this recording, once we're done with the podcast, I'm going to go run over to another show. I got to go to play at Little Street Music Hall, which is a great venue if you haven't been there yet.
Yeah.
It's an incredible venue. One of my favorite.
That's the hot venue in town right now.
Everybody there is such just polite people, professional people.
They've done a great job.
They've done an incredible job. So if you haven't been there before, check it out. So I'm going to go right after this to that show. But after the John Garcia show, we're going to probably, like I said, focus on the studio. But we're going to hopefully book shows not too long after that. And if you follow us on social medias and stuff, you can figure out those dates.
Okay. And where do people find you?
We're most active on Instagram. So we're whitewater.official on Instagram. And that's the main spot. You'll find all of our news.
Okay.
And from there, we have a link tree in our bio. You can click for anything, like whenever we sell tickets for shows or our other social media pages, our website, our press kit, if you're interested, all that stuff. So, but that's probably the best place to find us.
On Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't have a website right now?
We do. It's called whitewatertheband.com.
Okay. Whitewatertheband.com.
And that's where you could contact us, email us, phone number.
Okay.
Get in contact.
When you're going to do a performance for us today. So we're very excited about that. And and we'll have to have you back to talk about the snake hunting.
That's a whole nother story. Opening a can of worms with that.
Absolutely. Literally. Okay. Jason Zembo.
Capriotti's Rancho Mirage serves mouthwatering subs crafted with premium ingredients. Join them for a taste experience like no other and indulge in their signature flavors that will leave your taste buds tingling with delight.
I'm Jason Zembo, lead singer and guitar player from Whitewater, and this is one of our original songs called Drain Your World. shirt and photo, and I'll be sick on your aching skin for sucking out fluids in you. And I'll turn you around, wanna turn you around, let me turn you around, wanna turn you around, now turn you around, wanna turn you around, let me turn you around, wanna turn you wow. Sing to me your sweetest lullaby. I will dance along to your hymn. Shower me in your glitter. I'll drain your world. I'll drain your world. Something like that.
I'd like to thank today's guests, Kate Spates and Jason Zembo from the band Whitewater. I would also like to thank Kitty Pig for being our episode sponsors, our advertisers, Beach House Yogurt, and Capriotti Sandwich Shop. And I'd like to give a shout out to my other two Musketeers, Bill Lacombe behind the camera, and Kurt Schawacker, who does our editing and puts all this together for us. As always, go to CoachellaValleyWeekly.com to check out a new issue every week, and also click on the pet page to adopt an animal. And thank you so much for joining us again. We really appreciate it. And that's a wrap.